If you're ready to take back control of your health, you're in the right place. Welcome to Awaken Wellness with me, Tanya Candy, registered nurse and health coach. Now, I'm not your typical nurse. I consider myself divorced from traditional healthcare. I broke free of the sick care system in 2019 when I realized that the root cause to my sickness, my autoimmune disease, and my chronic pain was me. If you're ready for truth, for clarity, for honesty in a tough, love, compassionate way, I'm the coach for you. Join me while we dig into our root causes of sickness and disease. All right, we're live, everybody, and it's just me on the camera, so don't worry, they can't see you. Hold on. We are meeting in my basement. So, full moon, secret basement meeting. Talking about herbs. How fun is that, right?
About my crystals.
Yeah. So if you're new here, I'm Nurse Tanya. I am an RN. I consider myself divorced from the sick care system. This meeting that we're having tonight, I call it Created to Heal. It is in honor of, let's see, I can't screen share. It's going to be a little bit awkward, but it's in honor of my TikTok friend, Jassiel, that some of you might know. She's on a mission to help people heal naturally. She gets kicked off of everything social media. She was really big on TikTok until they got tired of her telling the truth and got rid of her. So now you can find her on Instagram. She's got a great website all about those buzzwords that get you kicked off social media, right? So tonight we're going to talk about GLP-1 simulation, doing it natural. Do you guys care if I just show you a little bit? You guys want to see my setup. So we've got a few people here. I've got herbs in front of them. We've got some of the tea made. So I am really a wannabe herbalist, like wannabe. So I just want to encourage everybody to start somewhere. You don't have to have some special degree. You don't have to have some special licensure. Just start. The good Lord gave us these herbs in order to heal our bodies. I'd love it if we got back to those days when we were so in touch with the environment that these plants still spoke to us, right? So I think that way back when people were muscle testing, when they didn't know they were muscle testing. If you picked up a dandelion and you did a muscle test, do I need the leaves? Do I need the root? Should I dry it? What should I do with it? Like, how did people discover these things? They had to be really in tune with the creator to know what these herbs did. They had to trial and error. They didn't have some book. They didn't have the internet. They didn't Google it. They went out in their environment. They explored it and they tried it. Yeah, some of them probably poisoned themselves and died, right? Probably. But we pick our poisons. We're poisoning ourselves every day, right? Every bag of food that we eat with food dyes or those kind of things. So I am going to do a little chat GPT reading through this. I don't have it memorized by any means, but we're talking about GLP-1 stimulation because it's a buzzword. Like, you have to be living under a rock if you have not heard of GLP-1s. It's all over social media because of Big Pharma, because of their marketing. Now, I'm not against medications. That's not the conversation we're having. That's not the platform. I am for supporting my clients, no matter where they fit into this picture, right? So the GLP-1 production, let me scroll down here and we'll just get a definition. What is GLP-1? So by definition, GLP-1 is a hormone. that our body does secrete inside the digestive system. It plays a role in regulating blood sugar, regulating insulin, and appetite. So I just want to go out and say that there's some things that really aggravate me about the medical model. Like, and I'm just going to say, how do we call people insulin resistant, type 2 diabetic, and all that, and nobody ever checks their insulin? It just blows my mind. Check your A1C, check your blood sugar, but nobody ever actually checks insulin levels. Insulin itself, made by that little special place in the pancreas, it has to be there. So uh, if I'm going to help somebody, if we're going to check their blood work, we're going to know what their insulin is. That insulin, it can be like from 3, I think, to like 24 is the normal range. I've had mine checked before where it's like under 3, it's 2. I was a little concerned about it, because does that mean my body is going to stop making insulin? So that's where a person gets in the place where you kind of don't have a choice. You're going to have to inject it. Other times I've checked my insulin, it's just been in a nice low range, and that's where we want it. If that insulin number gets even higher than 10 or in the teens, that's a problem. It should not be that high on a fasting level. If you had eaten and taken that insulin, it's going to come up just like your blood sugar comes up. It's supposed to naturally come up. But if we never know what it is in the first place, how do we say we're insulin resistant? I just don't understand it. If that number is getting up in the 20s, you're in trouble. Insulin is directly related to leptin. They never check leptin. Leptin resistance is a big deal. Leptin is a hormone that makes you feel full, that makes you feel satisfied. People who are obese have way too much leptin. How do we control that? This GLP-1 helps in those areas, in all those areas. GLP-1, again, not new. This is not new. These natural herbs, these over-the-counter weight loss and diet products, they've always been stimulating GLP-1. Big Pharma just advertised that. They just advertised their medications, their GLP-1. Now, I do think it's interesting. I got to scroll a little bit here. And again, I'm not against Big Pharma. It's going to sound like I am when I say this. Well, I'm not fully against it. I'm not against anyone who uses it. I am right? That's a better way of putting it. I'm not against you and your choices. I'm here to support you. And in that support, even one of my favorite product lines is Designs for Health. Like, this is their logo. Designs for Health also, as functional practitioners, as herbalists, they see that need as well. We're not going to stop the GLP-1 medication train. Like, we're not going to stop that. But we want to help people who are falling apart because of it, right? So the GLP-1, there are some synthetics out there. When I asked Chat GPT what these medications are made out of, so the majority are made out of something monster saliva, GILA, monster saliva. Those are the natural ones. And then the synthetic ones are made out of different synthetic, what does it say? Synthetic, some modified acids, some stuff that I can't really pronounce, but we all know that medications are trying to mimic or mock nature, right? So let's not dwell on that. But the Designs for Health, so if you or someone you love is taking GLP-1s, they're having some great experience, they're losing weight, a lot of people talk about that GLP-1 or that Ozempic flat butt, right? Or that Ozempic flat face. It does, the way that triggers that, they end up losing a lot of muscle. They end up, a big side effect is pancreatitis, is frozen stomach. I've worked with a few people already to try to undo those things. They're not easy to undo, but I've got protocols here at the store. We're not gonna get lost on that or dwell on that, but we do have muscle building peptides from. Um, I've got two different companies actually. I've got Make Wellness and I've got Designs for Health. They've got muscle building peptides. Also from Designs for Health, we've got enzymes to protect your pancreas. When we give enzymes for the pancreas and help digestion, it's kind of like putting your pancreas on crutches. So you're avoiding that pancreatitis. Another one that they use is digestive enzymes. Well, those are the main ones, and there's a whole long list. And again, I'm not going to get caught up on that. So for the sake of conversation, we are talking about herbs. And you ladies that are here, if you want to pop those open and smell them and pass them around, you guys feel free to do that. We're sampling the tea. So as a wannabe herbalist, I have got a couple of tea blends in the store. And it was really I wasn't really thinking GLP-1 when I blended them, but they fit right in the topic. So I have got this little guy, I call it Balance and Burn. It has got yerba mate, which is a green tea. It's got moringa, just for vitamin. Moringa might help that GLP-1. I haven't found that in research, but it is just a good, like, nature's multivitamin. Then we've got sweet cinnamon, we've got rhodiola, gymnema, orange peel, and hibiscus. The orange peel, mostly for taste. So this is a great little tea. They're having samples of it tonight. I like it cold better than I like it hot. So what I do is, like, this is a little $5 packet. I would make the whole thing in a gallon of water, long boil it so it gets stronger. So I'm going to boil up the water, then I'm going to steep it for a few hours and then refrigerate it and make myself a concentrate. And I'm going to use that throughout the week. So other things that we can do, aren't those interesting? They're smelling all the herbs. When you guys get to the rhodiola, that one, I think, you guys tell me what you think the rhodiola smells like. Right. So those herbs, they're going to work on your taste receptors, and then they're going to work inside your system. So an interesting one is, I have never used this bitter melon. Bitter melon triggers your taste receptors and the GLP-1. This is not in my tea, but you could sure add a couple of pinches of it to your tea to activate those receptors. Another is ginseng. So ginseng is an expensive herb. This packet of ginseng is $65. Ginseng also is a little sweet tasting, and it activates those receptors, working more on the tongue. So what do you guys think that rhodiola tastes like?
Smells like?
Yeah, smells like. Sorry.
That's good.
Oh, you don't really smell it. I think it smells like red wine.
Oh,
I think it smells like wine.
kind of like this?
Yeah, any of them. Put a pinch in your mouth. You can taste them too. That one didn't like you? No. That one you had a reaction to?
No, it just like burned my nostrils.
Yeah, that's a reaction.
That one is strong. And even when I pour them all together, in a big bowl and then mix them, this night one, like, you walk in the room and you're like, whoa. And then this is my night blend, which I didn't really intend to be a GL1 stimulator, but it's got California poppy, chamomile, passion flower, lemon balm, valerian, gymnema, and peppermint. So really in here, it's just that gymnema, but this is so nice to do in the evening. It really winds you down, plus helps control your sugar cravings in the evening. I think some of the behavior, you're going to the kitchen, you're boiling the tea, like especially if you're doing any fasting where you're stopping eating early in the evening, and you've got that window where you're kind of fidgety and you're kind of bored, the tea really helps there. Another big thing that we don't talk about enough is our gut microbiome. So, without like getting too lengthy about it, I do a lot of stool tests, not necessarily for this subject, but things we want to know. And most anybody who is overweight and has leaky gut is low on achromatia. So, achromatia is also in this family of GLP-1 stimulators. Achromatia is hard to find. This brand is Pendulum. We use Full Script for that, and you can buy from them right off their website as well. But our gut health is super important in this process as well. So we go through a lot of this achromatia. And if you want to know like where yours are at, just get a hold of me. We can do a test. So there was that. Berberine. Like, who's heard of berberine? Everybody talks about berberine. That's going to come in a bottle, not in an herb. So at the store here, I think we probably have 4 different brands of berberine. There's liquid for people who can't swallow pills, couple of different pills. Each company does things a little bit different. What else? Fiber, such a big deal for GLP-1 stimulation, for weight loss, for feeling full. Pretty much nobody gets enough fiber. So fiber is super important. At the store, we have got quite a few varieties. I just pulled a couple down. This inulin powder is from Azure Standard, so it's kind of in bulk. It's totally cheap. It's $20 and would be less if you buy it directly from them. Inulin doesn't taste like much. You can just put a scoop of it like in your tea, hot or cold, in your coffee, whatever you want to do. Having more fiber in your diet makes you feel fuller. If you do that an hour or so before your heaviest meal, you'll eat less, but your digestion, your motility, what's the word? Motility just needs it. We just had some expiration date issues. So I've got a fiber up there now that's 50% off from Standard Process. Designs for Health has a couple of fibers, not hard to find. You can find fiber anywhere. I hadn't used fiber for a long time, so I pulled some old stuff out of the cupboard and I've been throwing it in my tea. The first couple of days I didn't feel gassy or bloated, and I just so farty, not stinky farty, but farty. But we don't realize how many trapped air pockets that we have in our small intestine, especially if we tend to just blow up after almost anything we eat, that SIBO type gut blowing. That fiber can really help correct all that. It's not going to do it in a day, but it will definitely help. All right, we talked about berberine. I'm not going to go super deep on any of those. I do have a really nice chat GPT article about this research and kind of what I'm reading off of right now. So if you're here or if you're watching live, if you're watching the replay and you want this article, just get me your email address and I will get it to you. So here's an herb I don't know anything about and I have never used that I'm aware of, and that is fungreek. You guys ever use fungreek?
Fungreek or fenugreek?
Well, maybe you say it Finn. You're right. FENUGR. Yep. I have never used that. You?
No.
I have.
Yeah, you have? Yeah. And what did you use it for? Do you remember?
Me mostly with nursing.
Okay.
It's a
promoter. Yeah, that's
put
right.
it with other
Yeah, that's right. I do recall that. I do recall that now.
No, I was just reading about it, and it actually does much more than that.
Ah, so one of the people here in the audience say when she used that herb, she had used it for breast milk production to help with that. All right, so I lost my place. Let me go back. All right. And I don't have any of that to smell or taste. That's totally off subject, but who has ever put fennel in their mouth? Fennel seed?
Yes.
I love fennel.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I need
Like
something.
licorice.
Yeah, it's like
Yes.
licoricey. I need something with fennel in it. I was pouring them into my containers and the smell, and I'm like, oh, I'm putting that in my mouth. So like a lot of them, I'm just like, I just gotta taste this. What does it taste? But off subject, it's not on my list, but I'll keep reading. Maybe it is on the list. Ginseng is a big one to help. Ginseng is great for so many things. Energy, thought, immunity, blood sugar balance. So ginseng, I only have the ground stuff. Ginseng is an expensive root. This thing of it is $65. So like the ginseng, like your tea or whatever, you could add a couple of pinches to it. You can add it to smoothies, whatever you want to do. But I have noticed that when we get inventory in, things with ginseng in it tend to be a little bit pricey, especially if you want a good source. We have got to watch these days where we buy everything from. It's so aggravating. Let's see how to consume. It says 100 to 400 milligrams of extract or 2 to 5 grams of dried root. So you got to get up the scale. That seems like a lot. 2 to 5 grams.
It does.
That seems like
powder like that. That has to be a lot.
Yeah, that seems like a lot to me. Yeah, that seems really strong. Yeah. So it says additional benefits and has been shown to reduce appetite and body weight, improve insulin secretion. So, like for some people who tend to run low, who are kind of like borderline, their pancreas is in trouble, maybe from an autoimmune issue or something like that. Maybe ginseng would be beneficial. Another fun fact, I definitely believe that that's true too, that if you have autoimmune type 1 or your pancreas is or something's destroying your cells, a lot of functional evidence has been shown that can be related to a dairy allergy. The actual molecule on a cellular level from dairy to the pancreas are very similar. So if there's a virus, bacteria, something that your immune system is trying to fix or clean out of your pancreas, dairy looks like it. So then your body just makes an immune response trying to clean up dairy, and those pancreas cells can get in the way. So again, I'm from the people who don't believe that your body attacks itself. I believe your body tries to protect itself from something that should not be in there. So this next herb is one of my favorite ones. I'm pretty sure that maybe I say it wrong. I hear people say it different, but it's gymnema or gymnema. This is a fun herb. It's sitting on the table, maybe in front of you. I don't know that it smells like much or tastes like much, but this is one of the first herbs that I tried when I was working with the Wellness Way. And through standard process, we have like a bottle of liquid in the alcohol, the 1-to-1. Oh, they all taste terrible. But this stuff, if you take like a dose of that, a half a teaspoon, just kind of let it set in your mouth, give it a few minutes, and then you go and take a piece of chocolate or a piece of candy, put it in your mouth. It is just going to taste wrong. So this herb not only influences your GLP-1, helping you out there, it helps rewire your brain's connection to sugar. So like the sugar addicts, that can be for so many different reasons. I think the number one reason for those sugar cravings is the candida in our gut or the candida in our body. A lot of times we do a stool test and it's clear we don't see candida there, but that doesn't mean that it's not somewhere else in your body. When that, just like if you've made sourdough, you have sourdough starter, every day you have to feed it sugar in order to keep it alive, to keep that bacteria going. So when you have got those out of control sugar cravings, it's not just your brain or your behavior or your taste buds wanting to be cleared. It's the bacteria in your body saying, feed me, feed me, feed me. I need to stay alive. So especially if you've got carboholics that have got bad skin, you can't tell me they're not full of candida, that there isn't a candida problem. If there's a candida problem, there's a deeper parasite problem. Just a note for who's ever watching, candida is way up here. When you start cleaning, you got to start down low and work your way up. Candida is way up here. So Gymnema helps rewire your behavior and your taste buds. Our taste buds, that party in your mouth, like we know, I'm preaching to the choir. I'd like to lose 25 pounds too. And that pleasure center, that party in our mouth, it gets us in trouble and it takes a long time. The Gymnema really helps rewire those, how we feel about sugar.
I just got rid of my husband.
From the audience, she's blaming it all on her husband. It's his fault, right? Gymnema can also help manage your cholesterol and triglycerides. Triglycerides are so hard. When your triglycerides are high, they are so hard to manage, so hard to get down. So another herb is your turmeric or your curcumin. I didn't get that off the shelf. I think you all know like what turmeric is. Curcumin is the more derivative. Helps with that GLP-1, helps with your inflammation. It's got so many benefits. I would probably have a shorter, it'd be easier just to say what it doesn't help with because it pretty much helps with everything else. So even inflammation, if your body feels better, your blood sugar balance is going to be better. Let's see, what does it say? Additional benefits, appetite control, insulin, and leptin signaling. So that's pretty cool. That leptin is some that we don't hear people talking about, that leptin issue much. Bitter melon, I had kind of mentioned that earlier. We do have some of that on the shelf. So yay me. I'm not sure whatever possessed me to order bitter melon, but that too helps, that GLP-1. In the ground form, I suppose you just put a little extra in if you're blending or in your cup full of your tea or whatever you're doing. But bitter melon really helps activate your bitter taste receptors. So I do think that our taste buds are messed up the way we've been eating our whole life. Like they are messed up, and a lot of people hate bitter. So what I'm hearing this article tell me is that this bitter melon helps you tolerate bitter food better, is what that says to me. Let's see how to consume. Cook with it, it says, is consumed in cooked dishes or as a fresh juice. Yeah, interesting. That's off subject too, but I had taken home some Reshi mushroom powder, and I've started, when I make brown hamburger, I just sprinkle mushroom powder in it. There's so many things that fun ways that we could be adding these things into our diet. Bitter melon is known to improve fasting and reduce glucose levels, reduce appetite, and improves your feeling of being satisfied after your meal. And cinnamon. I think there's cinnamon in my tea. cinnamon, we just got some Ceylon cinnamon in the store.
Yeah.
So many different ways that you can use cinnamon, whether you just sprinkle it on your coffee, make up your tea, add some cinnamon. Cinnamon is very, very well known for helping with your glucose metabolism. And now we'll use the keyword of stimulating GLP-1, right? Keep marketing how to consume cinnamon. Sprinkle it on food or mix it into your tea or coffee. Ceylon cinnamon is milder and preferred for larger doses. Additional benefits: antioxidant, reduces oxidative stress, and better appetite control, less sugar cravings. All right. I should take a minute. I'm gonna take 1 second to look. Oh, I've got some comments. Sound cut out. Is my sound back? Yeah, and I don't know if I got Instagram to work. I'm just looking at comments quick. That's good. I love that. There's a few people commenting here and there. Awesome. I don't see any questions. I will look back, guys, in the comments for more questions in a couple of minutes. All right, going back. Next thing, green tea. So green tea has always been in weight loss products, right? Nothing new. We just labeled it different. I don't have, well, no, we do have a green tea. Yerba mate is super popular right now, and that's in the green tea family as well. We have some other green teas upstairs, and we've got some of the reduced supplemental. So they've extracted it and put it into a pill, added it into supplements. Green tea has always been known to boost your thermogenic response, to boost your metabolism, and increase your GLP-1. Let's see. Bitter taste. It is a little bit more bitter, that's for sure. And that is part of its method of action to stimulate your gut receptors. What else? Oh, I love that. It pairs very well with achromatia. So achromatia is, I was just going over a genetic test with a client today that we did, and she was in a good place. Like, genetically speaking, she was not very likely to be low on achromatia. Like, that's how important it is. We see it on genetic profiling. So for her, green tea would probably be extra beneficial because she's not deficient genetically in the first place. I'd love to know what I am. My achromatia has always been low, so I wonder if I have a genetic issue to be low on it, or how that works. So all of these things that make us ponder. I just love to test myself. Not that I ever have the answers, or not that I follow them. Right? I'm my worst patient. I get all the answers, and then I still just ignore them and do whatever I want. Right? What else does it do? Achromatia, or we're still talking about green tea, boost your SCFA producing bacteria. So those are your short chain fatty acids. And almost any test I've ever seen, stool test, people are super low on short chain fatty acids. Those are like resistant starches. They'll say eat green bananas, or potato starch, like after you boil potatoes, the stuff that we just dumped down the drain, that's the resistant starch that we're low on. So those resistant starches are really key to your small bowel health. So they're hard. They seem to be like they're really hard to get in your diet, because I've never seen anybody that tested that had an adequate amount of them.
We used to eat like every part of food.
Yeah, right. And now nobody eats apple skins because you're afraid of the pesticides and the herbicides and all that good stuff. We've become afraid of because of farming practices. So there's that. Green tea, drinking 3 to 4 cups of green tea a day can provide an active dose. Matcha tea, we do have some matcha. I really enjoy matcha, but it takes a lot of sugar or maple syrup for me to like matcha. That one is a little rough. Additional benefits, of course, weight loss, energy, fat oxidation, so that's good. It actually burns fat. Green tea drinkers have a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The next one is ginger. I didn't get any ginger out either. I am developing a taste for ginger. Do you guys use ginger?
I like ginger.
Ginger, like my mom had those like ginger chews. I thought they were gonna kill me. Like,
The chews are
oh,
what I like.
oh my gosh, they're so spicy. But ginger, we know it's great for digestion. It's great for nausea. It stimulates GLP-1 secretion and action. How much ginger a day? Let's see. Milligrams, 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams of powder a day. It can be chewed or cooked in a tea. I got food from this Thai place here, a soup, and it totally just had big old chunks of ginger. Like, I'm like, am I supposed to eat this or what am I? And then I just kept sucking on it. I'm like, is it turmeric? Is it ginger? What is it? But yeah, all these, I'm not a fun cook. Like, I don't do these fun things. It should be more fun and throw these things in. One of my favorites, I didn't know, well, until lately, that I love hibiscus. Yeah, I love hibiscus. So it's got vitamin C. It stimulates GLP-1. So how awesome is that? Yeah, and like have you guys ever eaten the leaves raw? They're so sour and they really taste like vitamin C. So there's that. We have that in our tea. And when I formulated that, when I put it in my tea, I didn't know that it was a GLP-1. I just wanted it to have some flavor. So, and add some vitamin C. So go me, right? More bitter herbs. Bitter orange. Quercetin, which is not a food, it's more of a supplement. Resveratrol. So resveratrol or Japanese knotwood. I don't have any of that either. There's a lot of even hormone balancing. We use resveratrol a lot when we do our Dutch test, and if there's issues with certain pathways. Resveratrol works kind of in the liver and is very hormone balancing. What else? Hoodia? Gordony? I never heard of that. Hoodia. I don't know about that plant. That one's new to me. And then it's just got the conclusion. So that is about all I have for my lecture on GLP-1. Do you ladies want to get on camera? You have anything to add?
Burdock root is good for GLP.
Burdock root, I'm hearing from the crowd. I believe that. Burdock is good for so many things. So many things. And it didn't come up in this article. A different search I did, moringa did come up. And moringa is kind of one of those two things that what is it not good for is more the question. Right. Yeah, I have a tea blend. It's you might not have been on. I'll say what it is again for you. So I put in there yerba mate, moringa, sweet cinnamon, rhodiola, gymnema, orange peel, and hibiscus. And this one is it's a winner for me. I think I'll stick with it. If you're, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
is that the one? Okay.
Yep, that's the one they have a sample of. I really kind of prefer it cold. What I was saying earlier is I make up a big batch and kind of long brew it so it gets stronger, then put it in the refrigerator and then when I add ice cubes or I dilute it a little bit and sip on it, usually add in my fiber as well. So I have been trying to be better about that. I personally, I'm still in that place where my liver, my health is not where it needs to be. Like a healthy body finds a healthy weight. Mine does not want to lose weight. So, and I still am doing that. Those cycle variations where I'll put in way too much water weight. But for me, I have got to practice what I preach and get back off dairy. Dairy makes me blow up and retain water. It doesn't mess up my gut. It just messes up my lymph system and makes me retain water and blow up. Bonnie, would you grab one of these Fast Like a Girl cards? They're in the cupboard upstairs or in the pantry. These two are at the store. They're little kits that I did up pre-Christmas. Bonnie's going to grab one of these cards. Actually, I should have had her grab one for each of you guys. But this is just a Mindy Pelz, Pelz. I think that's how she spells it. Dr. Mindy is my favorite on fasting. If you even want to dabble in fasting, read her book called Fast Like a Girl. Especially if you're a female and you're still cycling, fasting is great, but you can really mess up your hormones. So get educated. Do it with your body so your body doesn't see it as another stressor. But I had done these little kits, and they've got my teas as well as a fiber packet in them. So and then I had some other ones, but I personally am one who does not usually want to eat in the morning, which is not always a good thing. They say that it's your cortisol is too high, but I just don't. I'm like too busy, and I'm just not ready. And breakfast food, when you don't eat eggs and you don't eat gluten and you don't eat dairy, what the hell do you eat for breakfast? So I just don't. I just don't. I'll do protein in my coffee. Sometimes it is, I'll put carnitine in there sometimes if I'm at work. But the collagen, some butter, and get going with my coffee. I do think we should have some kind of protein when you first get up and you get going in the morning, but that doesn't move my blood sugar. I have worn a continuous blood sugar monitor. A lot of people in the GLP-1, you don't have to go through a doctor. If you are really struggling with your blood sugar and you don't really know what's going on, let's get you tested. I can help you out. I can mail you a kit. If you can go get your blood drawn somewhere, we need to know what your insulin is. We need to know what your stress hormones are. We need to know what your ferritin, your iron, like you really should know those things. Your A1C, you should know what that is at least a baseline, and once a year. This is the little card that goes with those super basic information. And minerals, like we've got to have minerals. So whether you want to do a complete mineral in a tablet form, or whether you just want to do salt and baking soda. So I do a lot of questionable things with my body. I'm willing to experiment and do those things that get you kicked off social media for talking about. But there is an old school chemical that got stashed away in the cleaning aisles. If you know what, I'm just going to say it, borax. So every morning I have a mix together. I've got in a jar, so it's usually a third of each. Redmond, sea salt, borax powder, and baking soda. So every morning before I get going, I do 3 big pinches in water on an empty stomach. So I myself have always had a stomach acid issue where I don't have enough, or I don't have it at the right time, and I have too much at the wrong time. That's what got me in this mess, was the 20s, the 30s, the heartburn. So anyway, if you're going to do baking soda, if you want to be more alkaline, baking soda and distilled water, always on an empty stomach. Apple cider vinegar before food, especially meat. Apple cider vinegar in water before food if you don't want to live on digestive enzymes. Baking soda, empty stomach. 1, 2, 3 times a day, depending on how alkaline you want to be. We all need to be a little bit more on the alkaline side, especially us meat eaters. We get super acidic. So there's that. I think, and then I'm kind of done. This has got your feasting hours, your nighttime tea, and your morning coffee, and your tea. Get your water in. It's another thing I'm just really re-scolding myself about. I used to carry along that big gallon container with the markers on it, and I would get through that thing, the whole gallon in a day for a long time. Then
I did that.
I dropped it and it broke and I broke. I just wasn't doing it anymore. So that water is so important. I don't think we need a gallon a day. That's probably a little excessive, but the whole old school 8 ounces, 8 cups a day, it is important. So we're probably going to wrap it up. A couple people say they want to order the tea pack. I'll type the phone number in. You guys can call the store, and we just do things the old-fashioned way. I don't have those. I disabled my Shopify account, and I'm working on bringing things back on my website. I'll put our phone number in. You can call the store. We do old-fashioned snail mail. Old-fashioned, hello, we'll take your order. We even have a landline. I love it. Yeah, so give us a call and we can do that. I'm not like trying to manufacture teas, and not that I won't send it to you. I love you all if you're watching on replay. I really, it's kind of for my own selfish purposes, as well as the locals here at the store. But it's light. I'm not afraid to mail that out. But like when it comes to bigger things, like if you're on my email list, you'll be seeing a lot of castor oil emails coming out in the next month. I don't really want to ship castor oil unless you want to pay $15 for shipping. It's just stupid. I just go to the post office and charge you what they charge me, and it's ridiculous. So to end on a positive note, shout out to my friend Jassiel. I see she's been here some in the comments. Like I said, when we first started, these meetings are kind of her brainchild. And what I love about it is the community involvement. When I hope that this grows, we've got 4 people here tonight, which is great. I hope we grow out of this space that we have to rent somewhere else. I have these visions of not me always being here giving the talk. I'd like to give the space to other people as well, to educate, whether it's a sewing class, kind of like 4-H, but for grown-ups, or like your old-fashioned circle things that my grandma went to or your grandma went to bring that back. Other exciting things that'll be going on at the store. I need the community to get involved to make it successful. I am right on the main drag going through my town, so we're going to do flea markets. My building is like a home type atmosphere, so I've got the garage and I've got the front yard. My vision for this flea market, the parking lot across the street, I hope they'll let me block that off too, but I want to have year-round like farmers market type of stuff. Right now, flea market, farmers market, right now I'm not turning anybody away. I need it to take off, but eventually I hope I have to turn away the junk, and I'll have people sharing like healthy things that they're producing from their homes, from their kitchen, that they want to make a little extra money. We've got a lot of people in the community with extra eggs, who raise their own beef, who butcher their own chickens, like all this stuff. So I'm looking to grow that bartering and trading community. So in the spring, when it is 50 degrees, we're wearing shorts, right? In the fall, when it's 50 degrees, we're bundled up in our Columbia coats and we think that it's just terrible. So next weekend, we're going to launch it. I'm going to launch it with my own junk. Spring for me, I want movement. I want change. I'm cleaning my closets. Like, there's junk in there that somebody's got to like, right? And then we've been going through the store and catching things with expiration dates. So outdated, but very much still good. The dates are just bullshit. But anyway, we got to abide by them when we're in a retail business, and they're going to go out to the garage to the sale, to the flea market. So if you're here, if you're watching, clean your closets, get ready. I'm not doing this to make money. I am asking $5 a table to help with advertising. And that's it. It might bring more people to walk through my store, but I really want you stay-at-home moms that have good sourdough recipes to make me some sourdough. And I want you guys that make good gluten-free stuff to make me some stuff, because I'm not a fun cook. I don't want to do this stuff, but I'd be a good customer. And I think there's a lot of people just like me out there. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Like, share. Every small business, every small promoter, every like counts, every share counts.